So I would be putting this on Comic Universe, but YouTube has really been sticking its nose into our work. In fact, several videos that I put out on that channel got deleted for dumb shit reasons. So we'll talk more about this in the near future on the Comic Universe channel, but right now we're all kind of like C-Dubs and his wife are moving for, reasons. Jay's kind of busy, and yeah, it'd be better if Dubs and I explained it together, because it was his idea to kind of go through some... Now, we're not completely rebooting the channel, just letting you know, but basically we're just kind of like workshopping some stuff, and we'll explain it further. Anywho, but let's not talk about that. What we are going to be talking about today is a double dose review. That's right, I'm doing 2 episode reviews in one of 2 things that flew completely under my fucking radar. Like, seriously, good job for not, on Cartoon Network, not so much Disney, but Cartoon Network first and foremost, for letting this fly under the radar instead of, building this up on the website, at least on your YouTube channel at least. And that is the dual reviews for the pilot for Villainous and the first episode of Disney's new show, Amphibia. So let's talk about the Villainous pilot. Now, Villainous has taken the internet and the fandom by storm, Cartoon Network fans by storm, because of how good of a show it is. And now that it's getting an animated series, I think it's really cool. I think it's really neat. Now, I did see both the subbed and dubbed pilot, so I'll talk a little bit about the subbed and dubbed in a moment, but yeah. The big thing with this is that I still think the animation is it still flows very well. I like how kinetic a lot of the energy is, and I like the story. It's kind of funny. Villainous and where it looks like it's going with all of the characters and how they view superheroes, it kind of feels like Garth Ennis's The Boys. It very much feels like, if you've ever read that comic from Garth Ennis from Dynamite, which is actually getting a show on, I think it's coming out or is already out, but yeah, on Amazon Prime. Basically, if you don't know what the Boys are basically this government group who keeps superheroes in line, and if they do something wrong, because a lot of the superheroes, because this is Garth Ennis we're talking about here, Garth Ennis has them do some downright diabolical shit on their off time. So the Boys basically go in and take them out in case superheroes go off the rails. It's very depressing, it's very violent, and yeah. Anyway, so that's kind of what I got the feel here, because we do see one superhero called Sunblast, and how he just torments this one supervillain who asks the Black Hat and his group for help, and she is like just she's more or less getting bullied, and basically the superhero's like, I could throw you in prison, but I like beating you up so much because you're a woman. And I like, and I like the attention I get for beating you up because people think you're a villain. I'm like, this is some straight up, like, Garth Ennis shit right here. Oh my god. So it is very much like, it's very much like I said, it reminds me very much of The Boys. And I really hope, like, here's a fan art, I know Villainous gets, like, some of the best fan art out there, so I'm gonna throw this out here. Can someone do a fan art picture of Black Hat, Dementia, 505 and Flug all like looking down like it's parroting the first cover of Garth Ennis's The Boys, the first issue of that cover, the cover of that first issue. Anyway, that'd be neat. Just throwing that out there. So the story is that Flug, Dementia, and 505 are sent out to stop and defeat this superhero Sunblast for, I'm forgetting her, La Prembra, I'm forgetting her. I can't pronounce her name. Who hires Black Hat and his crew to take him out. I really like just some of the jokes in here. There are just some great jokes. Even in the dubbed version, there are some straight up jokes in here that made me go, wow, they got away with that. Like, there's some, like, this almost feels like this should have been an Adult Swim show. It really feels at points like it should have been a straight up Adult Swim TV show. In some points where I'm like, oh my god. Like, Dementia eats people in here. Dementia is straight up eating people in here. There's also there's a neat little Marvel joke, which I don't want to spoil. It actually, like, it took me my second viewing to be like, oh, that's okay, that's clever. There's a neat little, neat little Marvel joke in there that if you really catch it. There's two, actually. I like how just the animation in general, especially of how Black Hat is done. Black Hat is just terrifying. He is just completely terrifying, but you can't look away from him either. You can't stop. You can be afraid of him and be in awe of that character. So I really dig that about that. Flug is more or less the subject of here, and it looks like Flug might be the focus of the show. He may be our character going and the one we focus on the most, and just Black Hat is the one behind the scenes. That's what I'm cool with. I mean, everyone loves Flug. Everyone likes Flug. Dimension 5, and it looks kind of like it's going to have an Ed, Edd n Eddy feel where, or I guess you could say like it's just henchmen where Flug, Dimension 505 go out and carry out missions to kill or capture superheroes. M505 is more, Black Hat is just kind of in the background and scares them all when he's, when they fail or fuck up or something. And I like how they've actually been like, yeah, Black Hat's not an idiot. He knows they fucked up and barely got away with it on a whole. So he knows that they're screw ups and doesn't approve of them or let them get away with anything. What I also like in here is that we're building to something clearly, because at the end, the villain that goes to Black Hat for help actually signs a contract with him, and you see her shadow go away. So maybe that's indication that it's her soul, and maybe that's what we're looking at in this show, is that's going to be what's built up throughout this season, because it's apparently 6 episodes this season, and what's going to happen is that Black Hat is that's building to something of what Black Hat is going to do with those contracts, because Black Hat is a demon. So I'm very curious to see where they're going to go with that. So let's talk real quick about the sub and dub. The sub is really good. The dub, it needs work. Black Hat's really good, because I think it's the creator of the show who does Black Hat in Spanish, but also does it in American, so that's cool. Markiplier is 505, that's fun. Dementia, I don't see the problem with Dementia. She's fine. I think they're just... Flug is good. I think Flug's fine. They just need work. It's kind of clear that the voice actors for Dementia and Flug don't really... I don't think that's their first gig. Voice acting is their first gig. I don't think that's their first and foremost thing. Maybe they do have some voice acting training and just don't have a voice acting... a proper voice acting coach or... voice director for the show yet. Maybe that may be the case. I don't know. I have heard some horror stories coming out of the production company from Cartoon Network LA, which is the Hispanic group of the Hispanic branch, the Mexico branch. Excuse me. The Mexico branch of Cartoon Network, and there has been some serious horror stories coming out recently about the show, the production team not getting a lot of spotlight to them. So that's a little heartbreaking. Maybe that's why there wasn't a lot of voice direction for the English dub. I can't really say on the Spanish dub. I mean, on the original Spanish sub. But yeah, the Spanish voice actors really give it their all on those. But yeah, all in all, I'm really excited. I'm glad this is getting a TV show, so I am all in for more Villainous, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are too. So let's talk about Amphibia. Now, Amphibia is the new Disney TV show that came out shortly after, the events of the end of Star vs. the Forces of Evil, and it was built up as a new animated show to be out there with big city greens. It's more or less about this girl named Anne who is teleported to a world of frog people and goes on crazy adventures with them. It's fine. I like the animation. There's some great jokes in here. There's just some, straight up hilarious jokes in here. And I love just the character designs and the designs for all the animals, like the giant mantis and the sea snake. There's some great monster designs in here. It is going to be one of those shows where it looks like fun and cutesy stuff, but it clearly, especially at the end of the episode, you see... it's clearly going to build up to something more in this show. There's clearly more build up to this show than it's letting on. So I'm really excited for that. The voice acting in here is great. All the voice actors definitely give their all. It's not like with Villainous where I'm like, that could have been a better read. Which, by the way, the English voice actor for Sunburst in Villainous, oh my god, why? Oh my god, that was the most blaring one. That was really bad. So that was really cool. So, so I was, that was, but getting back to this, the voice acting in here is perfect. Brenda Song, who most of you guys would probably know best as London from Sweet Life, I only found that when reading through the comments, where I was like, oh, okay, that's neat. She is really good. I really like how they're, like, the world on a whole. I really like how it's not like, it's a fantasy world, but there's, like, some, like, real medieval stuff to it. So I dig it. I also like of where it's going to go as a story arc, especially at the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's very clear that they are building up to something a lot more darker in here. So yeah, it definitely gives me not so much a feel of Gravity Falls, even though I know every show now on Disney is going to be compared to Gravity Falls, because now that's the that's the new A game you have to follow up against. Every animated show is now going to be competing for Gravity Falls as the big time at Disney. Not to say it's anything wrong. Gravity Falls is the shit. Let's not misinterpret anything. I'm just saying that now every animated show is going to be going up against that, and Amphibia is probably going to be no exception either. But I think it's really fine. If you felt bad, like, about Star vs. the Forces of Evil, not just the ending, but has the show turned into a dumpster fire especially by the 4th season, and especially if you got pissed off at that ending like I was, then yeah, this is definitely like a nice little mouthwash for us for the train wreck that was Star vs. Season 4. Like, if you were cheated out of that, I feel like this is a nice little back to basics with that Star had in the first season. Like, it's a neat little moment of that. And I think the creator of this show worked on both Star vs. and Gravity Falls, so that's probably another reason. I'm most excited for Owl House, which I know isn't coming now until, like, 2020. Fuck. I've been waiting for Owl House for, like, since it got announced. I want this show, damn it. But I like Amphibia. I think it's a nice little replacement for Star vs. And it's definitely like it knows when to be serious. It knows when to have great character moments. It clearly knows how to handle its writing, and it clearly knows when to. It knows when to be funny and when to be not. Is what I'm trying to say. Ugh, I am so bad with words. Yeah, I especially like the friendship that is formed between Sprig, the main frog character, and Anne. Yeah, there's some just great jokes in here where, like, Sprig is trying to bribe his sister with candy, and she goes, "Bribe accepted!" There's just some other, like, great shouty one-liners in here that just made me go, that was funny, and it catches you off guard of just how good it is and how good the show is with comedic timing. Like how Star was in the first 2 seasons, and how Gravity Falls was in both seasons. So, yeah. I'm really looking forward. I was interested in Amphibia. Like, it had my interest. Now it has my attention. So, I'm really looking forward to Amphibia. And like I said, if you were cheated out of Star vs., this is a nice little back to formula. Yes, I know, I've set myself up for a Spider-Man Sam Raimi joke by saying that, I'm well aware. So anyway, you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of the Villainous and Amphibia TV show? What did you think of the Villainous pilot, and what did you think of the first episode of Amphibia? If you haven't seen them yet, you can check them both out here on YouTube for free. Disney's been doing this thing where it just posts the first episode of something new on YouTube so people can watch it. So yeah, you can find both the dub and sub version of Villainous on here, as well as the first episode of Amphibia. And if you have seen those 2 shows, what did you guys think of it? Did you guys like them, hate them? What are you guys hoping for with both shows? Just comment below, let me know. I'm really curious to see what you guys have to say about both. And once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.